Hello, everybody. Welcome. I hope you're having a great day so far. Don't go to a reading just yet. I'm going to give you a closer look at the crystals and the cards and the charms here on the table. Today, we're looking at relationship conflict. So, conflict in any romantic relationship in your life. Person you have a crush on, someone you're dating, a situationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, partnership, anything like that. If you're fighting or navigating any type of conflict, not speaking right now, or just trying to work through a problem that you have. Maybe it's not even like this big fight. It could just be working through a problem within the relationship. We'll gain a lot of insight into it today. We'll get a card for your energy, a card for their energy, a card representing the root of the conflict. So why did this conflict happen? What's at the root of it? What's the issue that needs to be solved? We'll get a card for the relationship in the present, just describing how things are looking right now, the energy of the relationship, how to move forward with the greatest good. That card is going to be more of like a partnership type of card, so something that you and the person on your mind can do together to move towards the greatest good for the relationship. And then we'll get a sixth card, which is advice, but that is just for you. So this will tell you how to manage and how to move forward and how to maybe resolve the conflict and towards the greatest good as well. So we'll get lots of information today. I have on the deck here the Flower Oracle. This is a new deck for me. I think it's beautiful. I'm very excited to use it in the videos. There is a lot of meaning in flowers, a lot of symbolism, and different flowers mean different things to different people. So I'm excited to see how the flower cards resonate for you today. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy the imagery here. I'm going to give you a closer look at everything, but today I'm using the Shimmering Veil Tarot for the actual reading. I've used this in a few other videos. If you want to see more of those cards, I'll link another video for you to check out, one that will be relevant for you if you're here at this reading. So perhaps one of the romantic readings, take a look at the eye to see which one I ended up linking. Otherwise, let's take a closer look. We have Pyrite with our first reading. The charm is a chocolate bar. Kit Kat, it looks like. And then the card is a rose. Perfection, love, contradiction. Second reading is Sunstone. A hot air balloon, and there's words on here. It says far away. And the card for that reading is Daisy. Youth, Innocence, Oracle. Next is Black Obsidian. The charm is a pair of glasses. And the card is Bird of Paradise, Attraction, Originality, Enlightenment. We have Opalite for the fourth reading. A dragonfly, very appropriate for the flower cards. And the card is Hibiscus, Health, Zest, Resistance. Lastly, we have Chrysoprase. I hope I said that right. I keep getting this one wrong. And the charm is a key ring with 3 keys on it. And the card is Chrysanthemum, Cleansing, Longevity, and Nobility. Hopefully one of the readings is calling out to you, but before you go to a reading, I do have a question for you. Would you guys be interested in private readings? I love doing tarot one-on-one with another person. So if that's something that you're interested in and you would like to pursue with me, I guess, let me know in the comments. I'll also post a little poll in the community tab. So if you don't want to leave a comment, you can go to the community tab and check it out. Otherwise, feel free to go to your reading. Remember to take what resonates and leave the rest. If you feel like the reading is not resonating, come back here to the introduction and select a new one. I wish you the best with this situation, and I hope you enjoy your reading. Hello, and welcome to the first reading. We have the Pyrite Crystal, the chocolate bar / Kit Kat charm, and the Rose Oracle card. Before we get into it, let me know in the comments if this reading resonates for you. Take what resonates, leave the rest, and if you feel like you ended up at the wrong reading, just go back to the introduction and try again. Also, let me know in the comments if you would be interested in a private reading with me. I'm considering offering those. I like doing private readings, but I don't want to have it available if nobody's interested in it. So let me know in the comments, or there'll be a poll in the community tab on the channel. You can let me know there as well. Otherwise, let's get into it. We're going to get a deep understanding about this conflict, and we're going to start with your energy. 8 of Fire. Okay, so I think you are ready to just move on from this. 8 of Fire is all about movement. You're ready to like get over it. You're ready to move on. You're not too wrapped up in this conflict, and you feel kind of optimistic that things will kind of resolve and get better. Not a bad energy to be in, but let's take a look to see if it matches your person's energy. Whoops. Okay, 3 of Water reversed. So your person is feeling a little let down right now, kind of disillusioned. So if they had like hopes and thoughts about what this relationship could look like, I think they are now disillusioned about those things. Maybe if there was some dishonesty involved here, they're still dealing with that and trying to recover from that. And the 3 of Water is like a friend context. So I think it's not like they're let down in terms of what you would expect from a friend, meaning that, you know, like people like to say that relationships are grounded in a good friendship, right? You guys are supposed to be friends. So I think at that like foundational level, that friendship level that you have with someone that you're in a romantic relationship with, they felt kind of let down. Let's take a look at the root of the conflict. The 10 of Earth. So the root, it has to do with family and tradition. So whatever that means to you. Family and tradition is the issue here. There also might have been a little too much of a focus on the future of the relationship, or a little too much focus on the past. So when there's too much of a focus on the future, that puts a lot of pressure on the relationship, and we forget to enjoy it in the moment. When there's too much of a focus on the past, you end up dwelling in that nostalgia, or perhaps you're dwelling on things that didn't go well in the past. And again, you lose focus of the relationship in the future and the enjoyment in the future. Let's take a look at the relationship in the present so we can understand how things are looking right now. 4 of Fire. Okay, so there is, if you haven't already, there is like a reuniting energy, a coming together energy. You guys will come back together soon if you haven't already, because that is the energy in the present. And this is like the conclusion of this issue, because the 4 of Fire is like the end of a long search, coming home after a long search and a long issue. So you guys will come back together. If you haven't already, you will soon. Let's take a look at how to move forward with the greatest good. Again, this is energy for you and your partner. 9 of Fire reversed. Okay, so perhaps maybe on your person's end, things aren't fully resolved. So both of you need to make sure that there is thinking happening before acting. If there's anger happening here, I don't know if there is on your end. There might be, but if there is any anger, it needs to be resolved and it needs to be addressed. Because the 9 of Fire can be, you can see the person is standing there alone, and you don't want that. Like the anger could blow up and things might not go well. So let's take a look at how, I'm going to pull another card, and ask how you can kind of resolve that anger. We have the King of Earth. So try to remain very grounded. Try to establish security in the relationship. Stay calm, stay logical. So I think if you guys are going to like unearth any unresolved anger, it's best to stay calm when that's happening and stay logical. You do not want to let your emotions get the better of you. And remember that you want to make each other feel secure before you have this conversation. So going into a conversation being like, I love you, you're my partner, or like, I really value our relationship. We should talk about this because I feel this way, but I want to talk about it because I want to make our relationship better. I don't want our relationship to blow up. I really value our relationship. Going into it and things like that, having a conversation from that place will have the conversation end better and the anger will be resolved and the relationship won't blow up. Okay, let's get some advice for you. So this is just for you on how to move forward with the greatest good. 8 of Earth reversed. So whenever there is like an issue that comes in the relationship, Try not to let frustration get the better of you. Focus on how to improve things, focus on problem solving rather than just like getting wrapped up in the situation that's happening. Also, invest in the quality of the relationship in a long-term sense. So don't try to keep the peace and like make the conflict go away in right now, because it'll just come up again in the long run. So try to focus on making the relationship better in the long run rather than just keeping the peace right now. And if you work a lot, try not to let work get in the way of your relationship and focus on your partner a little bit more, or this person a little bit more, rather than focusing too much on work. But that might not apply to everyone. Okay, I hope the reading resonated. I wish you the best with this situation. Let me know in the comments if it resonated and if you'd be interested in a private reading. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you will join me again in a future video. Welcome to reading number 2. I hope you had a situation in mind before you selected your reading. On the left, you can see the charm for this reading is the Far Away Hot Air Balloon, the Sunstone, and the Oracle card is the Daisy, which is Youth, Innocence, and Oracle. Before we get into this, remember to take what resonates and leave the rest. If this is not making much sense, that's okay. Just go back to the beginning and try selecting another reading. Let me know in the comments if your reading resonates, and let me know if you're interested in private readings. I enjoy doing private readings, but I don't want to start offering them if nobody is interested in them. So let me know. I'll also have a poll in the community tab, so check that out. That's where I also put potential ideas for new videos, so you can vote on a reading that you would like to see as well. Let's get into it. We're going to get a lot of information about this conflict with your person. We're going to start with your energy. Ooh, the Devil. Okay, so I think this might have been a little triggering for you, this situation, getting into old patterns with anger and fear. And the Devil card, it kind of indicates that your perception about the situation is a little skewed because of all of these shadow issues that you're dealing with, how triggering the situation might have been. Let's pull another card so I can see what, some of the shadow issues exactly are. Okay, we've got the Queen of Air reversed. So there is some issues with anger, and particularly misdirected anger. So if you're feeling angry about this situation, it might be towards the wrong thing. The Queen of Air reversed is also about having a very tough shell, a very tough exterior, to the point where it kind of pushes people away, and there might be a cycle of denial, retribution, or pettiness here for you. Hopefully in the rest of the cards we get lots of information that will help you. I know it can be kind of hard to hear information like this from a reading, but stick with it. I think we'll get some good information from this other cards and figure out how to help you move forward. Let's take a look at your person's energy. Ace of Earth. Okay, so I think that your person also needs to be a little bit more grounded and a little bit rational, but it looks like there might be manifesting something. Let me pull another card so we can see what it is that your person is manifesting right now. Ooh, okay. The High Priestess reversed. So they are manifesting that you'll show your true self. They're manifesting honesty in the relationship. And if there is a separation between you two right now, they are manifesting that the isolation will end. So they do want to come back together potentially if you guys are separated right now. Let's take a look at the root of the conflict. Two of Fire reversed. So there might have been some ideas of what this relationship could be or should be, and that might have gotten sabotaged, and that's where, this conflict kind of arose. Things were not going the way that you thought that they were going to go, or maybe that your person thought that they were going to go. Also, one person in the relationship might be doing too much and being a little dramatic, and that might have been what caused this conflict as well. I'm not sure which one it is. I think you will probably have an idea as you're listening to this of who that might be. Let's take a look at the current energy in the relationship in the present. Nine of Earth. Okay, very positive. So if you guys haven't restored things, they will be restored soon because that's the energy in the present. You can see in the card that, let me pick it up here to show you. There's these dark clouds in the background, like rain is coming. So the energy right now is to decide whether this rain is going to make the situation better or make the situation worse. This conflict in this case is that rain. So you can decide, is this going to make the situation better or make the relationship worse? The Nine of Earth is also about abundance and enjoyment and living in the moment. So things are going to get better soon if they haven't already. And hopefully, I think this indicates that you're going to use this conflict to help improve the relationship. Let's take a look at the fifth card, which is how to move forward with the greatest good in mind. So this is a card not just for you, but it's for your person as well. It's as a relationship, how to move forward. Tower reversed. Interesting. So trauma needs to be resolved, and too many conflicts between the two of you will make things fall apart. So make sure that things are fully resolved before you move forward. And if there's anything lingering, any traumas lingering, they need to be resolved. Hopefully, let's take a look at this advice card for you because it might give us some extra insight into there without me needing to pull another card. So let's get some advice for you. This is just for you, not your partner or your person. Temperance. Okay, you really have to balance the energies within yourself. Work on having a honest, peaceful, harmonious connection with your person. Have a little bit more patience and be aware of what's needed. That's also indicated by the Temperance card. Let's take a look. Okay, before I do that, let me clarify here. Balancing energies within yourself. It looks like you're dealing with a lot of shadow right now, especially with this Devil card. There's a lot of shadow happening. That means the parts that's like where trauma lives, the things you don't want to look at, the worst parts of yourself, that's the shadow. You need to work on balancing the shadow with the light part of yourself and have a little bit more balance between those two energies. And I would like to pull another card to take a look at what's actually needed, because Temperance is also about having awareness of what's needed. We have the Hanged Man. So you do need to have a little bit more patience, and you need to see things from other people's perspective. I think if you're dealing with a lot of strong emotions, it can be easy to get wrapped up in those emotions and become blinded by them and not even try to see your person's perspective. Get some outside perspective on the situation. Try to see it from the other person's perspective. There might be a little bit of self-sacrifice needed. So putting aside, your desires, your feelings, if you're dealing with some anger and some pettiness, you might have to put that aside in order to bring some more balance to the situation and try to find your inner truth. The Hanged Man, he's taken a pause because he is working on the inner parts of himself. So balancing out that shadow and the light. The inner truth is not the shadow. Do not focus on the shadow. You want to figure out what lies in the light. Okay, this was a lot. I hope it was not too overwhelming for you, and I hope it resonated. Not what I was expecting based off of the crystal and the charm and the card. Let me know in the comments if it resonated and if you would be interested in private readings with me. Thank you for spending some time with me today. I wish you all of the best with this situation. Conflict can be so challenging, and I hope this gave you some insight into how to move forward. And I hope I'll see you again in a future video. Hello and welcome to the third reading. On the left you can see the Black Obsidian, the Glasses Charm, and the Oracle card for this reading is Bird of Paradise, Attraction, Originality, and Enlightenment. Before we get into it, take what resonates and leave the rest. Let me know in the comments what resonates for you in this reading. I'm always curious to see what's working and what's not. Also in the comments, let me know if you're interested in private readings. I'm considering offering them. I enjoy doing private readings, one-on-one readings, but I don't want to offer them if nobody's interested. So let me know. I'll also have a poll in the community tab on the channel, so you can let me know there as well. And I also post polls with potential videos coming in the future, and you can vote for which one you want to see. So check out the community tab if you haven't already. Otherwise, we're going to get into it. We're going to get a lot of information about the conflict that you're experiencing in your romantic life. I hope you had the situation in mind before you selected your reading. Let's start with your energy. Universe reversed. Okay, it's time for you to acknowledge your worth. I don't think you're acknowledging your worth. You've learned a lot of lessons in the past, but you're not applying them and you're not using them to grow. So it's time to apply the things that you've learned. Let's take a look at your person's energy. Hierophant reverse. Oh, okay, they might be feeling a little self-righteous right now. They might be unable to accept your point of view. They might even be kind of cruel right now, and I'm sorry if that's the case. Let's see if we can get some additional information through the other cards. Let's take a look at the root of this conflict. Seven of Fire reverse. There's some avoidance happening. Maybe avoiding, perhaps this issue was like brewing for a long time and it was just kind of avoided. Or it could be just avoiding it now. There's also maybe some self-sabotage happening, especially if you know what you should be doing and you're not doing it. That might be the root of this as well. And holding yourself back. It could be either of you, but I do feel like it's you. You might be holding yourself back here, and that's the root of this conflict. Let's take a look at the present, the energy of the relationship in the present. Page of Fire. Okay, so there is some passion in the relationship presently, but there's also some defensive energy. And the Page of Fire is a loner, so there might be a separation happening right now, maybe a lack of communication, because the Page of Fire also is very desperate for appreciation and understanding, but has a hard time asking for it. So that might be the root of the communication issue, or you guys might not be talking right now. That defensive energy, there's like not a willingness to work on it. You know, we're stuck in that defensive kind of place. Let's take a look at the fifth card, which is how to move forward towards the greatest good. And this energy of this card is for both of you. So as a pair, how you can move forward. Six of Fire reversed. So that self-sabotage has to stop. Has to stop. It's time to see the true meaning of things, gain some insight. And the Six of Fire reversed is also about having a vision. What do you want the relationship to look like? What do you want your relationship to be like with this person? Have a vision, have a goal, have something to move towards. And that will help here, because perhaps you went into this relationship not having an idea of what you wanted it to look like, and now things are playing out the way that they are. So have an idea of what you want the relationship to look like and try to move forwards with that in mind. We're going to take a look at advice. This is just for you. This is for you and your energy. Let's take a look. Five of Cups. Don't be afraid of loss. You can get through loss and it'll be okay. Recovery will happen. An opportunity will come as a result of the loss. Have an idea of what's important to you as well, and that will help get you through this loss. Don't be afraid of loss, essentially. So if you need to walk away from this situation, if it's like feeling very toxic and like there's no way to really resolve it, don't be afraid of walking away, essentially. Okay, a little bit of a heavier reading. I wish you all of the best with this situation. Let me know in the comments if it resonated. And if you haven't already, leave a like and subscribe. I'm a new channel, so that really helps me out. Thank you for spending some time with me today, and I hope you'll join me again in a future video. Welcome to reading number 4. On the left, you can see the opalite crystal, the dragonfly charm, and the oracle card is hibiscus, health, zest, resistance. I'm excited to get into this. I hope you had a situation, a person in mind before you selected this reading. We're going to take a deep dive into this conflict, figure out what's going on. Before we start, remember to take what resonates, leave the rest, and if this reading is not making any sense, just go back to the beginning and try selecting a new one. Hopefully you end up in the right place. Otherwise, let me know in the comments what resonates. I'm always super curious. And let me know if you're interested in private readings. I'm considering offering those. I really enjoy doing them, but I don't want to offer them if nobody's interested. There's also a tab in the community section on the channel that you can respond as to whether you're interested or not. I also post video ideas on there so you can vote on what kind of a reading you're most interested in. Anyways, let's get into it. Relationship conflict, romantic conflict. We're going to start with your energy. Page of Earth. So you're trying to be very thoughtful right now. You're trying to be self-aware. You've been hurt. You're afraid of getting hurt again, but you're willing to try again, and you want to maybe reconnect with this person or just connect after this incident, whatever has happened. Let's take a look at their energy. 6 of Fire reversed. Self-sabotage is going on their end. They're afraid of success. So I think in this context, right, that would mean that things go well in the relationship, things go well with the person, maybe it goes to the next step, whatever that means to you. They're afraid of that. So they might have engaged in some self-sabotage. Perhaps the conflict originated on their end. Let's take a look at the root of the conflict. Oh, interesting. King of Fire. So this can represent like a personality that somebody in the relationship had, or this could represent maybe an outside person. So consider either of those. I'm going to describe it, and if it sounds like your person or if it sounds like you, then there you go. Or if there is some kind of an outside person involved in this, then it could be them. So King of Fire, very charismatic, very attractive person, a very deep understanding of other people, and they can use that to their power. They are the one in control, they like power, and they like to be the one wearing the pants in the relationship and being the one in control. So those issues with control and power are probably the root of the conflict here. Let's take a look at the present energy in the relationship. Warrior of Earth reversed. Very rigid, very inflexible right now. Maybe being kind of insensitive. Out of touch with each other. So that could mean that you are just not on the same page, or it could mean that you're actually out of touch and not talking to each other right now. And the Warrior of Earth reversed is so rigid that there is no room for change or growth. And that's kind of where the relationship is right now. We're having a hard time moving past this. Let's take a look at how to move forward, and this energy is for both of you, so it's how both of you should move forward towards the greatest good. 3 of Fire. So you both need to express yourselves, and you need to get creative. Like if you're into writing, painting, drawing, creating something with your hands, cooking, anything like that, get in touch with those creative gifts in order to get more comfortable with expressing yourself. Having a vision for this relationship is going to be helpful. What do you want the relationship to look like? Starting there would be great, because then you can understand if it's moving in the direction that you want it to. Also, give a little bit more freely to each other. Don't expect anything in return. And before you're able to connect with each other, maybe both of you need to go back and connect with yourselves. Let's take a look at some advice. This card is just for you, so this might help you move towards the greatest good. Tower reversed. So I think it's maybe you more so that needs to have a vision of what you want things to look like, because if you don't, things are just going to crumble around you. If you have any past trauma or it looks like you do, because the Page of Earth is somebody who's been hurt. So it could be just referring to this situation. If this situation was really painful for you, you have to